Hey everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this super cute pregnancy announcement onesie. It's not for me, just so you know. With this onesie, I used Caesar Easyweed in the color black and then also royal blue glitter from Caesar. There's a little bit of a trick when you are using two different types of HTV when you actually heat press them. So we're gonna go over how to do that today. So let's get started. Alright, so I've got my iPad here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is open up Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Now, the design that I'm using today is something that I've already created and uploaded to Cricut Design Space, but if you are unsure of how to do that, I do have a video in my creative design series that goes over how to create a design in PROCREATE to then upload in Cricut Design Space to use as a cut file. So if you want to check that out, I will make sure to leave a link up here in the corner here, as well as down in the description box for later on. So because I already have the design in the program, I'm going to click Upload and Uploaded Images, and you can see it's the very first option, so I'm going to click on that and then click Insert. Alright, so when this design pops up on the screen, it is absolutely massive, so I'm definitely going to want to adjust the size, as this is not going to fit onto a onesie. So I have my onesie here. Now this is a 12 to 18 month onesie, and I have my measuring tape, and I'm just going to decide what's going to be the best size. So with a onesie, the part where the arm seam is and down, this section is kind of going to be wrapped around the side of the baby when they actually have it on. So I like to keep my designs within these lines. So I probably wouldn't want to go any bigger than 6 inches. So let's adjust the width of the design to be 6 inches, and then we will see what that puts the height at. So we're going to click on Edit. Now I'm going to change the width to 6 inches, and that puts the height to 7.38. You also have to think too, when a baby has a onesie on, about this much of the onesie is usually tucked into little shorts or pants, something of the sort. So you want to keep your design above that so it's actually visible when they have bottoms on. So just something to keep in mind. So let's see if we have the design. Start there. Not bad at all. I think that is going to be perfect. So the one thing that I want to adjust before I actually cut the HTV is the color of the vinyl, and that's because I'm going to have this word big in sparkly blue, whereas the rest is going to be just regular Easyweed in the color black. So what I'm going to do, the easiest way that I know how to do this, is click the image. You're going to go over to the Actions tab, click Duplicate. So now I have two of the same image, they're exactly the same size. So don't adjust the size or anything because you want this to match up exactly with this. And what you're going to do now, you're still on the Actions tab, you're going to click Hide Contour. And this is going to pop up with every single cut piece of your image. And you can pinch and zoom in, and you're just going to click on each of these letters. And you can see up here they're starting to disappear. You're going to leave the word big. All right. And now I want to go back to this image, click Hide Contour, and I want to get rid of the word big. So now I'm going to click the word big, and I'm going to adjust the color by clicking Edit, and then over here where it says Cut, there's a little black circle. If you click on that, now I can adjust the color, and I'm just going to pick any random blue and click apply. And you don't need to do this, but just so you have an idea of how it's going to look with the black, you can go ahead and do that, but it's gonna cut on separate mats anyways. So now that we have our design, we are ready to make it. So let's click the Make It button. And you wanna make sure that your mirror for iron-on setting is turned on, because this is going to be an iron-on project. And I like to go through all of my mats and turn that setting on before I start cutting anything, because I don't want to turn that setting on the first one and then when I go ahead to cut the second mat, I've forgotten that I've even done that. So just something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to click continue, and my Cricut Explore Air 2 is on, so I'm just going to click that to connect to the machine. Now I'm ready to select my material. I always have my dial on my Cricut Explore Air 2 set to custom so that I'm prompted to set the material every single time. And with the blue, it is going to be a glitter HTV. So I'm going to use, I have this saved in my favorites, the glitter iron-on setting. If you don't have that saved in your favorites, just click on all materials and then you can search for it that way. So I'm clicking glitter iron-on. And now I'm going to put everything on my mat, load the mat, and it's time to cut the HTV. Once that's done, I'm gonna go right ahead and do the Easyweed, and then we're going to be ready to actually press the material. So I will see you guys in a second. All right, so now I am at my craft desk. This is Caesar Glitter HTV, and it's in the color Royal Blue. And then I have my scrapbook here filled with scraps of HTV, and they're all labeled for which colors they are. And I'm hoping there's going to be a piece that's large enough, which there definitely is. So I'm gonna use this piece right here. I'm gonna move this book out of the way, and I'm going to grab a cutting mat. The first color that's going to cut is the blue, and a little tip for storing your vinyl and HTV rolls. Use a piece of masking transfer tape to hold the roll together. It is a lifesaver. And I'm going to be putting the glittery side down onto the mat because we are mirroring the image. Going to roll it out. There is actually more HTV on this roll, and I'm actually just going to leave it flopping like that so that I'm cutting off just what I'm using, because there's no sense in me cutting off 5 inches and realizing that it really didn't need to be cut that large. So I will cut right up to where the design starts to cut. All right, so I'm going to load the mat. And it's going to cut. All right, so now I can unload the mat. Flip the mat over. And I peel it away. Now I'm going to use a standard grip mat for the regular Easyweed, and that's just because you don't really need a strong grip mat for that, and it's easier to crease this than it is to crease this. Now, realistically, you don't need to use a strong grip mat for glitter HTV. A standard grip mat is completely fine. It's purple and I like using it whenever I can. All right, does anybody else always get dog hair on their mats? My goodness. Because this is a thinner material, I like to take my brayer and smooth out any air bubbles. Now, before I start to cut this, I'm gonna go back to my iPad and I need to adjust the material setting. Otherwise, it's gonna cut right through that because it's still on the glitter iron-on setting. All right, I have adjusted my material setting. Now I'm going to load the mat and cut the image. While the image is cutting, I like to get out my tools for weeding and my scissors to trim down any excess material. While that's cutting, I am going to cut out the piece of the glitter blue color. And glitter HTV is really easy to weed. I can usually just do it with my hands. Now I'm going to unload the mat and trim off the excess after I remove it from this mat. When I'm weeding, I do like to put the design back down on the mat, especially when it's HTV. Now that we have our design cut, it's time to head over to the heat press station and actually press the onesie. So let's go. All right, so I'm over in my workroom, which is where my heat press is located, and my heat press is slowly getting up to temperature. Now, when you're working with Easyweed and glitter, you have to be careful with the temperature that you are using. This is a 100% cotton onesie. So if you look at Caesar's heat pressing guide for temperatures and fabrics, when you're working with cotton material, if you are heat pressing Easyweed on that, they suggest 305 degrees. If you're working with something that's cotton and you're putting glitter HTV on that, they suggest 320 degrees. So for this design, we are not actually going to be layering the glitter right on top of the Easyweed, but we are still using two different types. So that's why it's important to know how to layer HTV, especially when it's different kinds. So the first press that we're going to be doing is the Easyweed. Normally you would press this at 305 degrees for about 10 seconds. We're not going to do that because once we put this down, we then also have to press the glitter, which takes longer. If we press the Easyweed for too long, that's going to make it so that the adhesive from this vinyl will actually go right through the fabric, and it'll make it so that the letters will fall off in the wash. They'll peel easily because there's no adhesive actually holding the letters onto the shirt, because the adhesive has basically went right through the fabric. So we don't want that to happen. That's called over pressing. We don't want to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to press this for about 2 to 3 seconds at 320 degrees. We just want to heat this up enough to be able to remove the carrier sheet. So we're not actually trying to fuse the HTV into the fabric just yet. We're gonna do that and set that once we have the glitter on. But before I go ahead and press, I want to make sure that my design is lined up. So I will usually do a ruler test. I also like to do an eyeball test to make sure it looks right, because this carrier sheet is sticky. It'll usually do a good job staying on the onesie. So I'll just pick it up and eyeball to make sure that it looks straight. All right, so I have my design exactly where I want it. I'm now going to grab my Teflon sheet. I'm going to place that over top. If you're wondering where I got my heat press, Teflon sheet, any of the stuff that I use, I will link it in my Amazon shop, and that'll be down in the description box below. I actually just recently got this heat press, so I did an unboxing of that as well, and I'll post a link to that somewhere up here. Cool. Okay. All right, now my heat press is up to temperature, so I'm just going to do that quick 2 to 3 second press. And Easyweed is a hot or cold peel, so we're gonna go ahead and peel this back. Just be careful. All right, now we're going to take our glitter and we're going to place that. now that I have my glitter on, I am going to take the carrier sheet from the Easyweed and I'm going to put that back down on top of everything. Now I take my Teflon sheet, put it back on top of everything, and I'm going to press for 10 seconds at 320 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, now again, the Easyweed is a either hot or cold peel. The glitter is actually a warm peel. So first I'm going to peel off that top carrier sheet. And this is still quite hot, so I'm going to wait a little bit before I peel that off. All right, now I'm going to peel this off. And we have our onesie. All right, and this is the final product. What do you guys think? I think it turned out super duper cute. If you guys are interested in putting this design on a onesie for yourself, a friend, or maybe you want to sell a onesie that has this design on it, head over to my website, which is thefoiledplan.com, and I will have this available for download in my SVGs and cut files. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful, and I will see you guys in a few days with a new video. All right. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.